Hi everyone, Bernice Lee here, and I'm so excited to introduce to you one of my really good friends. We've known each other for
many
10 years,
yeah.
I think, off and on, since I was working in human resources and the corporate. So this is Alex Beattie. He's going to be my guest today.
It's an absolute pleasure, Bernice. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course. So I wanted to use this time to help my students who are interested in updating their resume, to kind of understand what are recruiters like you looking for, what are some do's and don'ts, and what are some of the trends that are happening as of when we speak, which is the end of 2019. Actually.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. So without further ado, let's just get started. Alex, can you just tell my students a little bit about you, what you do, and your company?
Sure. So I've been working in this company for over 7 years now. It's called Sara Appointments. We're one of the pioneers in the recruitment industry in Hong Kong. We started back in 1964, so it's definitely one of the longest standing agencies in Hong Kong. We focus mainly in the back office support and administration placements, so anywhere from entry to middle level placements.
Any specific industries that you focus on?
No, we'll go across most industries because we mainly focus on the functions. So we've gone across banking, finance, manufacturing, trading, even some educational roles as well. So we go across most.
You know, my understanding of Sara Beattie Appointments, like a long time ago, was that you focused on recruiting and training support staff, like an administration staff. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. We were definitely made famous for our training college, Sara Beattie College. So they were well known for putting out the best trained secretaries in Hong Kong. So we don't do that per se anymore. We're trying to do a little bit more online training as the market has changed. But yeah, that's what we're known for. Yeah.
Okay, so now it's really across different functions and across different industries.
Absolutely, yeah. We're trying to diversify and keep modern. Keep changing with the times, keep dynamic.
Absolutely. I mean, I think we all have to do that.
Absolutely.
And probably one of the key things that you're looking for in candidates, is it?
Definitely. I see a lot in candidates. They, especially these days, that it's common people will change from industry to industry and different functions as well. People aren't going to be staying in one job for the rest of their lives. They may have 5, 6, 7 different jobs throughout their whole careers.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we had some questions prepared that I think some of my students would be really interested to know the answers to. And
sure.
If you have something else to add, feel free to as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So the first question I had for you was, right now, if someone were to go to the library and take out a how to write your resume book, it's going to talk about the different formats, right? The reverse chronological, the combination, the functional, and so on and so forth. So what are your favorites as a recruiter who has to read a lot of resumes every day?
I will definitely say reverse chronological always, because depending, also on your experience, employers and hiring managers are definitely going to be looking at what you've been doing most recently. That's what's going to be really relevant to that next job. So reverse chronological, and then work your way down from there. As you get older in your careers, you can start striking off some of those older jobs that you don't even need, because after a certain period of time, it maybe becomes a little less relevant to what you are doing currently.
Is there a cutoff point? I give the guideline maybe 15 years of experience, and you should start taking off your internships from university.
Absolutely, I agree, yes. It depends on, you have to make a good judgment call at what age you are, what stage of career you are on. Perhaps in your first few years, you could start keeping your internships on your university. I would think about your high school. I'm not sure, and definitely no primary school or anything like that.
Do you still see that?
I still see primary school sometimes. Yes,
right.
yeah.
So note to yourselves.
Please.
No need to put primary school,
No
and
primary school.
probably not secondary school. I don't recommend that.
Not
speaking.
really, yeah.
Unless you are in university now.
Yeah, if you're in university now and you're just about to graduate university, and perhaps maybe you have had like overseas studies in in a few different locations, that still is also quite valuable to employers. For fresh graduates, they see that you're well traveled and that you have a world view of things.
Got that. So it sounds like you really don't like the functional resume. I don't like it at all. I just have to say, it's for me very difficult to read. And in the times when I received a good functional resume, there's actually one time in my career where I received a functional resume. It looked really strong, and then I thought, this person looks really familiar. And it's actually because the candidate had sent me a reverse chronological resume previously, but didn't get through. And the functional resume did make me pause. I did think, this person could have what it takes.
Right.
But it was kind of hiding some gaps of employment. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Hiding gaps of employment?
Well, I mean, let's just stay with the reverse, the functional resume.
You have to tell me what the functional resume.
Functional is one where it's very skills oriented. It's not. It's more like, hey, I'm a strategic thinker. Here are
I see.
the
yes, I know what you mean.
Things that I did in different jobs or companies that.
I've seen a few of those, mainly for maybe more C-level kind of candidates. And yes, it's okay when you're a very, very mature candidate and you might be a CEO, COO, and you've accumulated all of this experience. But I think in the bulk of your career, it's probably not going to be, very easy to read, and as a recruiter, you want things easy to read because you might be spending, honestly, for a hiring manager, for a recruiter, less than 30 seconds on a resume before you start moving on to the next one.
I've heard that's quite generous. I've heard it's 7 seconds. That's what we read on the internet. So.
Yeah, I was trying to be generous. I was trying to be nice. I'm trying not to scare your students off.
But it's true. I would try to give people a minute, right?
Yeah.
I would really try.
You try your best. They have worked a little bit to try and put that across, right? So you give them a little bit of time.
What are your thoughts on this rule that maybe might be old about having only a one-page resume?
Right.
Is that changing a little bit these days?
Yes. Once again, for fresh grads, a one-page resume might be okay. But as you gain more experience, I think it's definitely very important to list out a lot more of what you've been doing, and more importantly, your achievements in those specific positions, and really try and differentiate each position. So. Yes, the one-page resume is not popular in Hong Kong, I would say, amongst hiring managers.
They prefer 2 pages or more?
I'd say about 2 pages, yeah. If you're a fresh grad, 1 page is okay. After a few years' experience, you've got to start expanding that to about 2, maybe 3 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no more than 3? Would you say that's the upper limit?
I would say 3, you're starting to push it. Yeah, maybe 3, you could start listing your references or maybe something extracurricular, maybe some minor details. But yeah, 3 is pushing it. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I start to lose my patience after 3.
Yes, absolutely. You don't have time, especially if you're receiving like 50, 100 resumes. You can't spend all that time.
So how many resumes on average do you think you look at, or that your consultants look at every day? Every
day we'd probably be going through probably about 50 or so to maybe 100, depending on how many positions we're working on. Yeah, so very time consuming. You really have to study a lot and pick out what's most important for your client.
Right, got it. Okay, my next question was applicant tracking systems. So it's a little bit of a black box to me. I used it as a human resources manager, but what are your thoughts? What are your insights?
very, very advanced technology right now. There are so many systems out there. You know, every company is going to say that they are, you know, the best out there, but everyone has their own particular software and AI and everything. Very, very important. You know, it's the way of the future. All the big companies are using them. So, you know, with the development of those systems, it just makes it easier for the recruiter or the hiring manager. They don't even have to, you know, post jobs out. They can just have notifications coming to them while they're on the go. While it comes on their phone, like a pop-up will come up. You know, this candidate has matched what you're looking for. So it's very, very advanced, and you have to be aware that people are starting to implement this more and more.
I've read that even SMEs, like small and medium enterprises, are using some form of applicant tracking system. Do you find that to be the case too?
Absolutely, yes. Just with the amount of you know, resumes that are coming through, you need some sort of tracking system. Excel is just not going to cut it anymore. Not if you want to have that upper edge. In a place like Hong Kong, it's so dynamic, it's so competitive. Having something there to sort through everything for you, and keep everything organized, and just keep it at a normal pace for you really helps. Yes, everyone's using it.
Everyone's using it just to save money and efficiency, increase efficiency.
It cuts down on the admin time as well, right? So, you know, what maybe 2 or 3 admin people had to do now only needs to be done by one person.
Yeah. So how can some of my students beat the applicant tracking system?
One word?
Or work with, let's be nice.
Keywords. Your resume, or even your different versions of your resumes, need to have the keywords that the employers are looking for. So when you're applying to jobs, or just in general, your resume really needs to have the keywords that pop, you know, that are going to be peppered all over the resume, so that it gets picked up by that AI or the ATS. So make sure the keywords are relevant. Really study the job description that you're applying for, and try and match that with your resume.
Okay, got it. So pick out the keywords from the job description and put them in your resume.
Absolutely.
I'm going to assume that people should just write down the keywords that are true and authentic to them.
That was my next point.
Okay. All right.
Make sure that
I was asked this actually by a student the other day.
If you must have these keywords, okay.
Like you actually should have the skills.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
Have those skills. I'm not saying, you know, don't put it on.
Don't lie, guys.
Please don't lie. No. Because it will come out later on, you know, even if you do get the job, it will be clear that some of these skills that you've mentioned that you don't have. So please make sure you do not lie on resumes.
Okay.
Yes.
So keywords is one thing to work with applicant tracking systems. Is there any other tips you have?
I would say, no, not that I could think of. Maybe a nicely written cover letter. You can just put maybe more keywords out there again. Maybe things like salary, because ATSs definitely pick up on numbers as well.
Really?
Yes, they can pick up
Wow,
on salaries.
that's actually surprising to me.
Yeah, because that, you know, a hiring manager doesn't want to waste time if they're going to be way over budget for that position.
So what should an applicant put down? Like their actual salary, or their desired salary, or a range?
Range, for sure. You know, have to keep yourself open to opportunities. You don't know who, you know, you don't know the background of that company, what the whole package is, what the benefits are. So definitely put a range.
Okay.
You can put your current if you like, but I think that can be saved at a later, you know, to talk about at a later time during the interview.
Yeah.
I would say put a range of expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your actual salary will come up during the background vetting stage.
Exactly.
Assuming that the company goes to that serious step. Right?
Absolutely.
Thank you for that. So what do you personally look for, and your consultants look for, in a resume that stands out? What makes you go, wow, I need to call this person?
Well, I would say it's definitely going to be a nicely structured resume. It's going to be easy to read. I'm going to want to see their skills and also, as I said before, their achievements. What have they done in their previous position that made a difference, an impact in their last company? I'm also going to want to see how that transfers over to what my client is looking for. If it's a good match and it's relevant, yeah, that's when we're going to give them a call. I want to see things like education background, lengths of stays at their past positions as well.
Okay.
And then salary. Yeah.
So achievements is first and foremost.
Yes.
The second was?
Second would probably be length of stay.
Length of stay. So what is a red flag to you then?
Well, I mean, I've seen resumes that have 3 to 4 jobs in 1 year. That would be a red flag for me.
Okay.
If they really have some relevant experience, I may give them a call, give them a few minutes of my time. But really, if I see something like that, I'm probably not going to call them.
What about 1 year in a job?
1 year is still okay if you're, as I said, a fresh grad or a career starter. It's okay, but that's like kind of the limit. I would say try your best to do at least 1 to 2 years in a role, and then as you progress through your career, those would increase in time as well.
In my experience, we had some candidates come through who were kind of like brand collectors. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, it just, they hop around, maybe spend 2 years, which is okay. So on the face of it, looks really fine. But then you realize, why is this person changing jobs every 2 years? And they're going from one top class company to another. So it looks like, oh, this is an amazing person, but then you have to wonder why do they keep hopping around? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, they're hopping around. I mean, if they're able to last in that position for maybe a couple years, then I guess they're not going to be that bad at what they do. But you will note that, yeah, obviously they're going from brand to brand.
Right.
People want to get, the best that they can get.
They like to collect their badges or whatever it is.
They like to stay competitive. It does keep them competitive, and it does allow them a little bit more bargaining power. It gives them a bit more power with employers when they're trying to hire them. Yeah, I don't know. Hong Kong is a very candidate-driven market, I would say. Okay.
Well, you can consider that as a strategy for yourself to negotiate higher salary. I've seen that happen.
Yeah. I'm not saying
I don't love it as if I'm hiring somebody, I would love to have them stay for a long time and contribute and be part of that that community, our community. But it's not for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be the best strategy as well. You really have to look at the culture of that particular company and what it is they're looking to get out of you, as well as what what they can give you as well. So I think it also depends on that specific company culture.
True enough.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some resume writing no-nos for you?
First one is definitely going to be spelling and grammar mistakes.
Thank you, sir.
Oh my God. I just hate that. There is a simple button on your Windows. You just press F7 and that's spelling and grammar checks, okay? It's so simple. It's so simple. I've seen people get their own names wrong, their addresses wrong, it's not, it's a minor detail, but it just also goes to show the effort that you're putting into your resume. If you don't have the time or the effort to put into checking that, how does that relate to what work you're going to be doing for that company?
True.
What else? I would say copying the same job responsibilities from your past positions and just copying and pasting that into the next position as well.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. You mean
so
the job and responsibilities from job A to? I've never seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that a few times. It's just lazy, because, okay, I was a customer service officer here, I was a customer service officer here, I'm just going to copy the same thing, I was doing exactly the same thing. Well,
That's ballsy.
Yeah, it's two different positions, it's two different companies, they're not all going to be the same responsibilities, so that's something I'm not...
That bothers you?
Yes, absolutely.
Anything else? Big no-nos?
Big no-nos, well, we discussed the long resumes, right? Too many colors. I do like some colors, a little bit of tasteful color here and there, but too many colors, overly designed, a PowerPoint presentation. Don't go over the top with your resumes. Simple, concise, clean and crisp, I would say, but still eye-catching.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. What colors do you like? Tasteful. What does tasteful colors mean to you?
Well, something maybe like a lightish green or a lightish gray.
Like in font or paper?
Maybe on paper,
Like the paper itself.
Yes,
okay.
yeah. Maybe like a nice blue like this. I'm not sure. Nothing too strong, but something a little bit that stands out. You can use, maybe some colored text in places that you may want to highlight. I'm not saying keep it completely black and white for sure. You can use some color as well.
So that suggests to me, like you said, a colored paper, so people actually send you hard copy resumes now?
Oh, no. This would just be soft copies. The soft copies, the background, they may, not like the whole paper, but maybe like half of the paper or one side of the paper where they may keep their personal details and information, or maybe just the top where they put their self-introduction or something like that, or maybe at the bottom where they put their education, something like that.
Okay, got it, sure. So what changes in trends have you seen in resume writing? Maybe in the last 2 years?
2 years. I would say there's a lot of people are definitely putting different skills on their resume. I'm seeing a lot more to do with technology things like web development skills and all those types of skills, even Photoshop, video editing, these kinds of things. A lot of people are taking these courses, even whether or not it's related or it's going to be required in their job. But I do see a lot of these tech skills coming up on resumes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Coding, is that also?
Coding, definitely. Yeah.
Is there more demand for that from employers, or is it just?
People will do it out of self-interest. People will do it just to also just have more of an understanding. I'm not saying you're going to have to code, a complete program or something, but be able to, with everything that's moving online, that's moving into the technology direction, you need to have more of an understanding of things. And not saying you have to do a master's degree in it, but having some sort of understanding in that will really boost your resume, boost up your skills a little bit.
Interesting, very interesting. Okay, so what are some key skills, abilities, knowledge that employers are looking for?
I would say they're looking for proactive, adaptive, flexible people. Especially in fresh grads, they want someone who's going to be eager to join this company, ready and excited and really, passionate to join the company. They want someone that's happy to work there, and they're happy to contribute. They're happy to, make their own suggestions, and nobody's perfect. Neither is a company. Everyone's always improving, and most of the companies that I talk to, they want those people who are there to say, I'm here to make a significant change. Right? So, flexible is definitely one of those key key traits and being able to move into different types of situations. Companies will have their ups and their downs, you know. You have to be ready to change with the times, especially with everything that's going on right now. Yes.
Yeah, I think the world is moving faster.
Absolutely. Very, very fast.
Very, very fast.
Yes.
I mean, I came into the job market in 1999, feels like.
That's all right.
Like email. I remember just getting 20 emails in a day. Can you imagine that? I mean,
I would. Oh, I
or like
wish
10
for
emails
that.
in a day. Like, so,
Yeah.
okay. And then how has AI and the digitalization of the workplace changed the nature of jobs that you're now recruiting for?
Well, I've seen a lot of positions start to decrease in their necessity for the client. Like a lot of customer-facing roles have started to either be outsourced, or with AI, you can go through, even on a phone or even on the computer, you can go through a computer until like so many steps down the process. So there are a lot of positions out now that were not, were never created when I was also entering the job market as well. So it's definitely a change of the job landscape, and it's a very different landscape. And like you said, the speed of change is just so fast. So probably in the next 10, 15 years, there'll be new jobs out there that haven't even been created yet.
Yeah. Okay. So just following up on that, what do you think are some success factors that candidates just must have now?
I would say they would probably need to be able to wear many hats, be able to multitask a lot.
There's no such thing as multitasking, right?
So that leads me to you have to have a very good balance of multitasking, because if you over multitask, you're just never going to get anything done.
True.
Right?
Yes.
There's going to be no productivity, and especially now when it's so easy to get distracted by everything. All of your, everything's buzzing on your phone and your computer and everything. Anytime a notification comes, I must check that notification. I must check that email.
Yeah, and not just you and your own compulsion to do so, but there's also an expectation by the other party that you reply right away.
Absolutely.
It's a stressful time to work.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've heard some people who say, I'm going to turn off my emails between this and this time so that I can achieve this and that. But like you said, clients also expect immediate responses as well.
Yeah.
And if you don't give them that immediate response, they will find it somewhere else as well. So multitasking to a point, not where it decreases your productivity.
Yeah. I got that.
It's you do have to be juggling like a lot of projects at any one time. So also good project management skills is very, very important. Organization skills, what do you use to manage your time effectively so that you only have 8 to 10 hours in the office. How are you using that time effectively and not wasting it?
Got it.
Yeah.
So time management,
organization, yes,
being organized.
Yep.
And I would add, just resilience now. It's so important. Just being able to cope with the stress in an effective manner.
It's a stressful time. It is a stressful time, yeah.
I think we're just speaking from ourselves
yes.
now, like we're both stressed out.
We're okay.
We're all right. Okay, so how can people learn more about Sara Beattie appointments if they're a candidate, like some of you are, and you're based in Hong Kong? Do you work with candidates outside of Hong Kong?
Sometimes, like if candidates want to come into Hong Kong, we will work with them. We'll try and help them and see how best, what kind of a chance they have of coming into Hong Kong. So we do that.
Okay.
But definitely the bulk of our work is definitely for candidates that are already here. whether or not they need a working visa or not, we'll still work with them.
Okay.
We are on most social media, Sara Beattie Appointments. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on LinkedIn, on Google. Just Google Sara Beattie Appointments. You'll be able to find us anywhere, pretty much.
Okay. Are you on Facebook, did you say?
We're on Facebook.
What's the handle for your
Sara
Facebook page?
Beattie Appointments.
Oh,
yeah.
very straightforward.
Very straightforward. Sara
And LinkedIn also.
LinkedIn is also Sara Beattie Appointments, yes.
And how about your general email?
General
Or contact email?
General email would be careers@sarabeattie.com. And careers, like a career, like you're finding your next career.
Okay, that's careers plural, but I'll also add at the bottom of the video the actual email address.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
thank
welcome.
you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciated your time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. I hope you got some amazing value out of that. It's been a while since I've had to be a recruiter, so I'm very appreciative that you were here to give us some of the latest and greatest news straight from the field, and also just to reconfirm, I think, what some of us already knew, that there's some ongoing principles of resume writing that just actually don't change over a long period of time.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.